This week on Down to Earth, hacking nature for its best parts. Industries look to the environment for inspiration.
Observing nature helps us to find the best solutions more quickly. Nature spoon-feeds it to us.
Biomimicry is the science of imitating life. Have millions of years of evolution churned out all the answers?
We have everything in front of us all the time and we don't see it. We don't pay attention.
These eight-legged engineers make it look easy. But can humans reproduce the toughest material on Earth?
This is the holy grail, to reach the toughness of spider silk.
This week we're down to earth in France at the Airbus headquarters in Toulouse. We're here because the aircraft manufacturer believes it can make its planes go further using less fuel by turning to solutions that have existed for millions of years in nature. Apparently the best recipes for innovation already exist and we just need to look around us. Starting right here on the tarmac. The wings on this fleet of planes have a unique curved edge, known as sharklets. An idea borrowed from some of the best flyers in the world.
We implemented this device after watching eagles, which use feathers at the extremes of their wings to improve their aerodynamic performance, to fly further using less energy and more efficiently. We added this to our planes, and it's led to a 4% reduction in fuel.
And imagine if this was the next step. Planes that fly in a V formation, just like migrating birds. Airbus is currently working on a similar approach that could cut air drag and boost fuel efficiency in commercial jets. Nature's genius can be found in equal measure inside the aircraft.
We're inside the model of the A380.
Here, the remarkable properties of the lotus leaf act as a source of inspiration. The plant has evolved to prevent both water and dirt from clinging to the leaf's surface, a handy trick that has been applied to these cabin interiors.
These surfaces are self-cleaning. What I mean by that is that the water beads and stops stains from building up. This saves hours of cleaning and helps us to have the plane ready for another flight in a shorter amount of time.
Nature offers the universe's most tried and tested solutions. For more than 3 billion years, organisms have evolved and adapted to a changing environment. The ones that exist today are the success stories, the models and systems that work. It's no surprise then that industries are keen to tap into the greatest research and development lab in the world. Today we've joined a course on biomimicry led by Tariq Shekshak, a former marine biologist and now disciple of the discipline.
Why does this plant look like this? In your opinion, what could explain its shape?
A tour of the village of Senlis, 1 hour from Paris, proves one doesn't need to go far for ideas. The common duck, for example, has light-reflecting feathers which give the impression of colour.
There are many designers and also people who work in electronics who try to imitate this process to create the illusion of colour. For example, on smartphone screens, which could mean they consume less energy. But it could also give a dress the illusion of colour without necessarily having to use a dye.
Interest in this topic is escalating, so much so that this former military barracks will soon house the first centre devoted to biomimicry. And during the visit, as if on cue for the camera, a demonstration falls from above. This is the nest from a paper wasp. The way it builds its home with fine wood and saliva has shaped the way we make paper today.
We have everything in front of us all the time and we don't see it, or at least we don't pay attention. Biomimicry is exactly that, to start paying attention to everything around us, all the details.
It interests lots of designers. The complicated part is finding applications that are profitable in the short term, because that's what industries are looking for.
Cosmetic giant L'Oreal, car maker Renault, and France's National Railway are among the companies that have asked employees to take this course in biomimicry.
Often the first reason companies are interested in biomimicry is, well, I'm going to caricature a little, it's panic. Because during a crisis, if you want to survive, you have to innovate. You have to find as many ways to innovate faster than your rivals as you can. Biomimicry offers a new perspective because it sets an objective to be 100% compatible with the biosphere and with the natural world that we're part of.
In a fantastical world, imitating nature is easy. For 50 years, Spider-Man has been producing silk on demand. But in reality, it's much more difficult. Spider silk is tougher than steel, more flexible than rubber, two exceptional properties together in the one material. A feat of nature that humans have not been able to mimic until now. There are spiders everywhere at this German laboratory near Nuremberg. Right now with Professor Thomas Scheibel, I'm trying to extract silk directly from a spider. Why is it that you want to reproduce the silk that spiders do?
So the silk fiber produced by this spider is actually the toughest material, the toughest fiber known on Earth, man-made or natural. And this is why I actually would like to have these fiber in our hands. It's like the holy grail of fiber technology.
Nature has made it look so easy. How hard has it been to do it artificially?
When you have a look at this creature, you see two body parts, and the bigger one in the end, this is just a silk factory. This is where all the manufacturing is ongoing. And we had to dissect that, we had to find out how the spider is producing these fibers. And now that we can mimic that, we are also able to make fibers.
So you're going to show us how we can make spider silk?
I hope so.
From the natural to the artificial. Here, a team of scientists isolated the protein that makes silk in a spider, multiplied it in these bioreactors, and turned it into a raw material for production. This part took 2 years. It was another 10 years before they could master how to spin it.
Here you see the fibers coming out. This is completely artificial. This is made with recombinant proteins, and you can actually now do whatever you like. We can also, now you see it's hanging off here. I'll take it. Now I have here a very thin fiber. It's thinner than hair. Oh, here it is. You got it? No, I lost it. It's somewhere on my finger.
Using this method is time-consuming, but not nearly as tedious as harvesting it directly from a spider. The next step is producing the silk by the kilogram or ton.
So we have seen now the very simple process where we pull off by hand. Of course, in large scale, you do that by a machine and you pull it on such a spool. And this is now the product. The trade name is BioSteel.
For the moment, BioSteel is more expensive than gold. But other uses of artificial spider silk are, or will soon be, on the market. From cosmetics with a silk touch, to coatings for silicone breast implants, or even fine filters for vacuum cleaners. And biomimicry is expanding its influence beyond the realms of the laboratory. These are the designs of Belgian architect Vincent Callebaut, projects that mimic an entire ecosystem in the one building. This example is known as Dragonfly.
I came up with this project in 2008. It's inspired by the structure of the wing of a dragonfly, which has the ability to carry up to 40 times its weight. As an architect, I try not to just stay in my corner, and instead work with ecologists, biologists, biochemists, and sociologists to invent new modes of living for the future.
Designed for New York, Dragonfly is a residential building with a giant vertical farm at its centre for fruit, vegetables, meat and dairy. It would create more energy than it needs. Callebaut has even come up with a name for this blend of disciplines: archibiotic.
Nature is, by necessity, economical because it manages to recycle all of its waste. Nature uses only the power of the sun and the wind to create energy, and it does all of that without a drop of petrol.
For centuries, humans have taken a cue from nature, but today there's an urgent need to find new ways to do more with less. Biomimicry at its core is not just about saving time and money, but making our finite resources last.